K0DWC. This is WA7 YBS. And how does it sound there, Chuck?
Hey, good morning. Good to hear you this morning. Your Q5 copy, easy, a little gravelly, but, you know, easy copy. Sounds like you're on something different, maybe a different mic or a different station, but you sound fine to me.
Yeah, well, this is the KWS-1, and this is a different transmitter, and it's also a different microphone. This is the Astatic 10D, so it's a dynamic mic, which may account for it sounding a little bit different. And I'm trying to, I don't see any good current, so everything is looking okay. And so, yeah, I heard Bill in there in 6BCT. So anyway, WA7YBS, standing by.
Okay, Henry. Well, you don't know how good that sounds to have you have that KWS-1 back on the air. I've heard it before, but it's been many years ago. It's good you got that back up and running. I'm going to give you a buzz later this afternoon. I worked too hard yesterday. I'm taking the day off today. Had to buy a new battery on 51 Ford. But the other one was just, awful. Real bad. Yeah, okay. Good deal. Bill never came back to me. I heard him check in. I put him in the 1 spot, and I've got you in the 2 spot. And so far, you two are the only fellows that have checked in. So, if there's anybody else out there that wants to be number 3, more welcome to come in.
Here's number 3, W7MS. Good morning.
Well, hi, Mikey. You sound fantastic again today, as usual. Good to hear you this morning. How's things over in Reno?
Things are great. Nice to hear you. Nice to hear Henry on the KWS-1. And back to you, Chuck, for an honest audio report. Just don't tell me I sound different. W7MS.
No, I won't say that, but your audio report is very good here to me. It might be different, maybe, but really good audio. Really good audio.
Okay, well, thank you. Like Henry, I'm on a different microphone and the same rig from 2 weeks ago, the 30K1. So, but it is a military microphone, and we'll get specifics. So I guess I'm appropriate. Henry's on the 10DA, and you must be on the D104. So is Carla sleeping in this morning? W7MS.
Yeah, she's in La La Land. She's in La La Land. She's awake. Yeah, she's in there. I'm gonna take a nap. I don't know. She might get up there and nap. Check in there later on. But, yeah, she's still sleeping. Is there a number 2? Check in. Finish military radio. Come now. Okay, just real quick, let me make another call out to Bill. I heard Bill check in, and then I heard like a squeal, and that was the end of it. I don't know if he's got a problem over there or not, but Bill, M6 Bravo Charlie Tango, are you on frequency? Oh, there you are, Bill. Okay, good deal. Much better that time. All right. All righty. So, in 1 spot, I've got Bill in 6 Bravo Charlie Tango. I've got Henry in the 2 spot, WA7YBS. And I've got Mike, W7 in the 3 spot. There's number 4 out there. Come on, fellas, you got to wake up a little bit. Want to be number 4? Come now. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. But, sure, there ain't a number 4 out there for the British Military Radio Net. Anybody can come now. Well, I don't know, fellas. Should we start the net with the 4 of us, or should we wait another few minutes?
You the boss.
Yeah, I guess so this time, I guess. All right, I'll make one more call real quick, and then if somebody answers, I'll go ahead. We'll just go ahead and start. Maybe we can pick up some stragglers here. So anyway, this is British Military Radio Net. This is Chuck. UWC. Net call this morning as all of you are sound asleep. We'll be operating on 3974 state speed. You guys know the spiel. Anybody has anything for sale or want, please mention it in your tune in the roundtable session. Military gear is encouraged, but certainly not. Let's start from there. So, this is Chuck, K0DWC, running the ART-13 this morning, and listening on the R45 ARR7. We're running a B104, a B104 amplified mic, excuse me, this morning. And, I'll say a couple hundred watts. It's showing a little bit more, but I'd be surprised if it was. So anyway, in the number 1 spot, I've got Bill, N6BCT. Good morning, Bill. In 2 spots, Henry, WA7YBS. Good morning to you, Henry. And in 3 spot is Mike, W7MS. Good morning again, Mikey. And one more time for number 4. Somebody out there, you can come now. Okay, nothing heard, so we'll go up to the top to Bill, N6 Bravo Charlie Tango to take it. This is K0DWC.
Okay, Bill. N6BCT, WA7YBS. Okay, very good. And I'm just going to crank up the audio. Oops, that's a little too much. Okay. You got to be really careful on the KWS-1. Got to kind of talk in a monotone. And adjusting and watching. And so anyway, yeah, very good. And good morning, Mike. Morning, Bill. Morning, Chuck. Good signals from everybody. Bill's got a little bit of a problem there, which he is aware of. So at any rate, I did copy you, Bill, but you know, it was quite a bit different than you usually sound. So anyway, Mike sounds very good with the very, very noticeable improvement in the 30K1 sound. This time sounds very good. So let's see. Well, we're running about 150 watts of carrier we're showing 250 mils of plate current on the KWS-1. Of course, we're on, I forgot to switch it, we're on lower sideband. Anyway, we're, military-ish, you should be on upper sideband, but, well, what can I say? It doesn't matter. It's single sideband AM with a single sideband reinserted carrier, and so anyway, that's what we're running here. And this KWS-1 is going to be 55 years that I've owned it. Coming up here in December. I bought it in December 1970, and so I've had it quite a long time. And it's run lots of different modes, lots of radio teletype. I didn't really realize how much I did radio teletype with it, but I did quite a bit. And AM, well, AM has been for a while too. Haven't run single sideband on it quite a number of years, and CW2. So anyway, that's the story on the KWS-1, serial number 616. And as we alluded to last week, the problem was all in setup. Transmitters, is doing fine. So anyway, a different length of coax between the KWS-1 and the Johnson Matchbox was cured the problem. And we're listening on the 75A4, and the 75A4 is also one that I've had, and this one I have had over 55 years. I bought it in March of 1970, so been here a while. I just got through refurbishing it, and it was stuck in a closet for 12 years, and let me tell you, that doesn't do the 4-to-1 reduction gear work for the vernier tuning. That doesn't do it any good. So anyway, the 75A4 is all back and happy again. So that's the rundown of these days. 26 degrees this morning, clear skies, and Venus was quite apparent in the morning sky this morning. So that's good. Or Mike, W7MS, WA7YBS.
Okay, with a little pause for the cause, WA7YBS, W7MS. Well, thanks, Chuck, for taking the duties this morning and being an appropriate and respectful husband. Congratulations on that. Everybody's doing well, and quick comment before I forget, since I'm not taking notes. My gosh, I don't have a pencil. It's terrible. I'm ill-prepared this morning. But yeah, great on the 4-to-1 comments. I think actually that's been in the last couple of years, my last preventative maintenance, or actually demand maintenance situation, was breaking out the Teflon loop to the both of my A4s to the gear reduction 4-to-1 slash device, based on the fact that I went to turn the knob after not looking at mine units for a period of months or maybe even years. It was dial lock time, so I got you on the 4-to-1, Henry. So on the 30K1 this morning, listening on the 75A1, so the old number ones, I guess, and everyone knows that for Mikey that's self-explanatory. But I guess worth a mention here is the USICA, in other words, the parent company for the Voice of America modulation monitor that I'm running this morning, which is truly now an antique, since someone has eliminated the Voice of America and America's soft power. But enough of that one. And let me see here. The microphone I'm running here is rather interesting. I believe it came from John Lawson, but I'm assuming it came out of the Tuttleman estate. And that's an M65/U microphone by University Sound. And it's a standard Atlas bass, but of course the bass, instead of black wrinkle, is black olive drab wrinkle, and it's been MFP'd. It actually has an FMP stamp on it. And It even has a mount designation on the bottom. It's an MT1583/U, and the microphonium is M44 Alpha/U. So universal, and it's a low impedance dynamic balanced output. And rather interesting. All in all, a drab, except for the very bright, shiny, adjustable Atlas post, which of course is in chrome and in mint condition. A few scratches on the microphone, but interesting. And I know when I first obtained this, I did the usual search engine searches and came up with nothing, either in dialogue or photos. But now with AI enabled for Google Incorporated, maybe we'd come up with something for this microphone. But I would guess 60s, 70s vintage. But rather interesting, and I figured I would at least be somewhat military correct. Projects here, saw my hum issue. I had a ground loop in the National 600 when I used the front panel jack and the push-to-talk bar in the D104. We eliminated that, and that was based on my issues of assembling the AC distribution control device. To enable that transmitter, I went on the cheap on the solid-state relay for the plate circuitry, and whatever. It was a self-induced ground loop, so we took care of that over the past week. So that was probably the big project here. Well, my second biggest project was I wired up the harness to the NDB low frequency up converter for the ATR-11A, the RCAF transmitter receiver. So now I'm officially can tune NDBs, so it up converts it to the 460 IF. So that got me thinking: is in the system approach, is there actually a DF antenna and associated mechanics that actually may be attributed to as a unit of the ATR-11A? So who knows what might pop up in northern Idaho, or maybe it was sold 2 years ago as what the heck is this? But that's the story here, and I'll stick to it. So back to Chuck, and long live the Tuttleman estate. K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike. Well, it sounds like you and him are awful busy doing good stuff for radio, which is always a great thing. I haven't been doing much radio lately. Since Mama got her car 2 years ago, I worked here and there in the car. Come to find out the battery on the thing was awful, bad. It took out 26 volts. So I ran down a Napa and bought a new 6-volt battery and put it back in its original form of positive ground, which it wasn't when I got it. Big difference. Big difference. There's a few little quirks here and there that need to be done on it. They go through a little bit at a time here and there. We got the temporary tags on it, and she hasn't taken it out yet because of the problem with the battery. She's looking forward to that. So we're just taking it day by day on that. Just itching to drive it to work, but I told her, I said, not until we get the tires mounted. I ordered 4, decided to go with the bias ply tires with the tubes. Summit Racing had those, and they delivered the tires to me, but I don't have the tubes. The tubes have been in Sacramento for a week. If you can believe that. They're supposed to be here tomorrow. Got to get those and get everything together and take them down somewhere and have them pop the new tires on and tubes and tires and get that done so we can come back and put them on. So that's kind of what I've been doing here. I worked on it pretty much all day yesterday. running around getting stuff. But it was worth it. It all worked out pretty doggone good. So that's what I've been doing. So anyway, let's see if there's anybody out there now that's awakened and firing up there for the Finnish military radio unit. You can come now. Okay, well, nothing heard here, so I guess we will head back up to the top to start round 2 with Bill. Bill, I hope you found your there, N6 Bravo Charlie Tango. You still on frequency? Go ahead. Check back with Bill here in a few minutes and see. He just kind of disappeared there. So, Henry, why don't you go ahead and take it WH7YDS?
Okay, yeah, mid-sentence. He just vanished. I had to really tune down a couple of KC to actually have him demodulate by who knows why, but on 74 he just was kind of, I could understand him, but he really perked up about 2 KC lower, about 3972 ortho. So anyway, very good on all. Yeah, Tuttleman Estate. I got some good stuff out of that too. That 32V2, that real junker that was, was in a shed with leaky rub that leaked right on top of the transmitter, and then it was a mice-infested type of shed also, and then to cap it all off, it belonged to a CBer, and so anyway, that 4032V2 was a real wreck, and luckily it was a great part source because it was a late 32V2. And so it had the 32V3 style transformers in it, in which I needed the low voltage transformer for my V3. So that Tuttleman Estate, that transmitter really got my 32V3 cranked. Inside it looks original inside now. So it was, Barry did a good job of getting junk, and he was always reliable for, if he had a bunch of junk he wanted to get rid of, Barry would take it. Got towards the end there, he had to load it in his truck for him, but, he would take it, and that was the important part. But very good on the universal mic. And, yeah, there was another, brand like Universal that was out there a lot, and but doesn't get much, isn't known very well. That was American Microphone Company. And they were out of Los Angeles, and they were okay microphones too. So that's, this 10D that I'm using here, 10DA, 10DA, they're, I don't know, in reading, looking at the schematic and stuff like that, the KWS-1, there was a service bulletin that had you change the level resistor if you were running a crystal microphone, and I haven't done that, and so the crystal microphone sound a little lacking in the lower end as far as the audio on the KWS-1 unless you change that resistor, go up in value to 1 meg or so. That's the recommended value from Collins anyways, that if you're going to run a crystal microphone, as they say, if you run a dynamic microphone, leave the resistor alone. And the only mods that have been, I don't know, you should call them mods, they're service bulletin upgrades that's been done to the KWS-1 is the fiberglass inside the PA box has been taken out. And there's one other one that's been done, but I forget what it is, but at any rate, of course, we're running 3B28s for rectifiers. We're running 4 CX250Bs for the PA tubes. So all in all, it's 95% original transmitter, which is what we can't say for the 75A4. There was a lot of there weren't too many service bulletin upgrades done to the 75A4. There was a lot of creative, unauthorized upgrades done that I had to take out this time around. Rebuilding it, I decided to get rid of them. And it was a lucky thing I did because the guy had added a couple of 47 ohm resistors in series with the high voltage off of the transformer, power transformer going to the rectifier plate. He didn't solder one of the wires going to the tube socket on the 5Y3. So it's been that way for over 55 years. So, okay, rib joints, okay, they'll go forever, I guess. At least in Nevada, they'll go forever. So, anyway, the 75A4 is back to, it's got some of the Collins upgrades, and then there was an ABC mod that was in electric radio, and I put that in a long time ago. I wish I hadn't, but it's in there, and it's too involved to take it out, so it's still in there. It works okay. So anyway, that's the rundown on the 75A4 and KWS-1. The ones that have been here for over half a century. Hard to believe. Back to Chuck, E0DWC, WA7, YDF.
Well, Chuck, can I take it?
Yeah, Mike, W7MS, go ahead.
Okay, no problem. Just wanted to, you are the boss. W7MS here. Yeah, fine. And I think Steve is gone because I think this, wasn't it swap meet weekend for him, for those folks? I'm not sure if it was today or Saturday, but that may be one explanation, plus the change of seasons issues. And I'll give Ron, reach out and make contact with Ron and find out what's going on. 2 weeks in a row has got me a little concerned. But back to business, great on the battery, and I wonder if, I guess you could have gone the next step, and I'm assuming if you wanted a reproduction with cell straps on top, that would have been another order, special order maybe from the Summit. So I'm surprised. Good job. They had the 6-volt battery in stock. I think that's, at least as I understood what you said, because I was wondering about that. And fine on the bias ply tires. I feel your pain. Also between probably purchase price and shipping, waiting for the tubes. And I had to do that for that little Jeep trailer I got, which turned out, in retrospect, that was a mistake to purchase that when I discovered that I had no choice but to go with OEM tires. And but I mounted them myself. I got the baby powder, the Buster bar from our friends at Harbor Freight, and mounted everything up myself. It took me back to being about 19. I used to watch a friend actually mount tubeless tires on his Mustang, and his technique, of course, was to break speed by running the front tire of another car and get things started. It can be done, and for me, it was just kind of a personal challenge. I said, I'm going to go down to the dollar store, buy some baby bottom powder, and mount up some tires, and was successful. Didn't pinch a tube, but then again, you've got 4 to do, so probably better to take it to a tire shop. But there's a personal challenge for you possibly, Chuck, but you probably have 50 others in the priority list here. and fight Henry on the restoration efforts and taking various modifications back in time, fine on the crimps. And of course, that always leads to a story. I guess my S1 is pre-children, pre-twins, but they'll be 30 here on April the 20th. It was purchased a few years prior, so I'm probably only in the early 30s as far as ownership on my version, but you certainly take the prize, and I also think, my God, where's the time gone? It leads to other thoughts. It can be disconcerting. I won't get too somber, but I think I realize how much of everything I have has come from dead people's estates. It's just a chain of ownership. It's an interesting observation, and one that one doesn't want to overly stress. But let me see. Oh yeah, crimp connections. I actually worked on a KWS-1 years ago when I was. Excuse me, I got to reorientate foot switch foot. When I had to. When I was somehow became the boy, the Collins boy for the owner of Capital Heating and Air in Carson City, and I was tasked with working on his KWS-1, and I discovered one of those factory no solders in his KWS-1. But you're right about low humidity. The desert's great for preserving airplanes and boneyards in Arizona, let alone radios in this part of Nevada. It's one would never have known, but I was totally aghast at Collins' quality control. But everyone makes a mistake. But of course they do the double or triple wrap in crimp, so it wasn't going anywhere, at least in the Nevada environment. But Chuck, back to you for and good luck on the pickup on the tubes yesterday. That's all I can say. W7MS.
Okay, Mike. All right. I meant to mention that Universal Mike. That thing sounds really nice, and it sounds like it's in mint condition. According to what you said there, with green wrinkle finish. That's super cool. So you got a cool sounding mic to go with a cool looking mic. So congratulations on that. Anyway, on that KWS-1, I'm sure you told me this years ago, but if you did, I forgot. I heard you say the month 16, and I can't remember how many KWS-1s they made, but judging by that number, I would think it would be one of the earlier ones. Maybe you can re-enlighten me on that. I was just kind of curious about that because I was thinking about it, and I couldn't remember what you told me, but that was 20 years ago. But anyway, yeah, you know, the bi-ply tires, I originally really didn't want to do that. I wanted to put some tubeless radials in there, but I got to checking things out, and I was looking at some of the recommendations by the people that make the tires, and you know, I guess what the deal is with these 16-inch wheels is the smallest tire that's a radial has to be a minimum of 5 inches. And these 16-inch rims are only 4.5 inches long. And they're recommended from a safety standpoint to definitely do not do that. So I'm like, well, okay. I understand that. These guys are in the business, they know what they're talking about. So anyway, I went with the best thing I could get was a 6-ply tire, 616. And well, they're hefty tires, they really are. And yesterday when I went to the feed store, Tires Plus was right across right beside the feed store, and I went over there and I asked them if they can give me a price for how much it would be to do those tires. he says, we can't do them. And I said, well, why not? He says, well, the company won't allow us to do any tires that involve tubes. So I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, this is going to be fun. You know, I'm going to have to scramble around town to see who can do them and who can't do them. So anyway, I'm going to check, you know, with people like Lex Schwab or Big O Tire or somebody like that, and see what they'll do. If not, I'll just have to, like Mike said, I'll just have to do them myself, even though it's 4 of them. Go ahead and take the old ones off and go from there. But that's kind of what the story is on the reasoning for going with their Cobra tires, the Cobra Excelsior tires. So anyway, hopefully we'll get the tubes tomorrow and then I can get that. Next Monday, Carla's birthday, and she and I have got a hearing at DMV to get the hard copy, the hard plate tags for the car. So I'd like to have the tires done before that, because I'm sure she's going to want to drive it, at least on her birthday, for sure. Anyway, Mike, I had another question too. How's Trevor doing on the SP600? What's the new report, if any, on him and the SP600? Maybe you can comment on that. But, okay, let's see. Let's see if there's anybody that wants to check in here at the end of the second round. It'll be number 4 for the Business Military Radio Magic coming out. Okay, nothing heard, so we'll go back up to Bill. N6BCT, Bill, are you on frequency? If not, then Henry, you can take it. So N6 Bravo Charlie Tango, are you still there? Over. Okay, Bill, go ahead and make a transmission. We're starting the 7-3 round, so go ahead and make a transmission.
N6BCTWA7 YBS. Okay, well, glad you got it fixed. You do sound okay, you know, but like I say, I do have to tune down to 72 to get the best sounding signal. I can copy you on 3974, but you sound best, at least, you know, here on this receiver on 72. And okay. And let's see, yeah, speaking of SP600s, they're our friends there at Sparks had a really good one on there, and I was thinking about it. They had a SP600 GX28, and that was the Jan version, Joint Army Navy. It was a very different receiver, and nobody ever buys anything, it seems like that's kind of high priced, if even at a, fairly high price. And I was thinking about it, and it just wait too long, and it was like 3 days or so, boom, it's gone. I couldn't believe it, but that happens to me all the time. I sit there and think and all over. Do I really want to buy that? as somebody else does. Oh well. But anyway, that was a good one that he had. It was in nice shape. The only thing wrong was the data plate was missing, but you know, that's kind of the problem with a lot of this stuff. Is I don't know what it was about data plates, but you know, I think guys didn't want a military connection, and they take them off because of that. And then, of course, the other urban legend was that you know, if you had a data plate on there, it really wasn't yours. And so, anyway, let's see what else has been going on here. Not a lot. And just, you know, I just got through yesterday with the 7584, so it was you know, done in the nick of time. And waiting on a few things. I had to order some new feet for it, and that took a while. You know, why you know, when it's shipped through the mail, why it sat 5 days in Indianapolis, I don't know, but yeah, it took 10 days just to get you know, a set of feet, rubber feet. But anyway, enough of that. We will say 73 all around. Thanks everybody, and for the reports on KWS-1. Sort of, well, you know, I haven't really run it reliably since, God, I don't know when, 2021 was when I was going to do radio teletype with John at KB6SEO, John Lawson. And that was when we discovered the oscillation problem, and on 80 meters. And it's just, you know, I had to get inspired enough to actually get into the KWS-1 and figure out what the heck was going on, really. And as I mentioned last week, the real hint was that it worked perfectly into a dummy load, all bands, everything was fine. And hook it up to the antenna system code, didn't work, oscillated. So anyway, with that, 73, everybody have a good week, and we'll turn it over correctly this time to Mike, W7MS, WA7YBS.
Okay, well, thanks, Henry. Do a little adjustment tweak here. We're 30 hertz down, at least by my non-temperature compensated historic HP frequency counter. But it's Nixie tubes. It's tubes. W7MS here. Well, Chuck, comment on the tires. Yeah, I had my latest tires on the Jeep. I ordered a pair out of the folks over there in McCarran, Nevada, over at USA Parkway. Was at the Discount Tire Joint, which specific name escapes me at the moment. But I had noticed when I was doing some price checking here locally, Tires Plus had a big signboard out, I think over in Spanish Springs, that they would not mount or dismount tires that are beyond a certain age. And of course that's determined by the DOT stamp on the sidewall, so that had me to thinking that I wanted to have one of my relatively ancient but very expensive tires on the Jeep moved over to spare, but technically on that signboard they couldn't touch it. But the folks down the road south of me, foot adjustment. Someday I'm going to learn to use the more than my big toe on a foot switch. It's a bad habit. I'm going to have to go into counseling on that. But so I was kind of concerned, but I had it done at a different location. They didn't have the big signboard out, but apparently it's all about liabilities and etc. I'm sure it's based on case law and lawsuits. I've noticed that over the years, and also with my back when I was in the fleet vehicle driving business and would go down to Goodyear on Plum. And sometimes in the receipts they'd have disclaimers on tire mounting, the fact that maybe your rims weren't rated at a certain gross vehicle weight based on the tire size, etc., etc. Not to mention the fact you're probably spending an extra, $50 for each tire based on legal contingency fees. So I got you there. And, well, Henry, good job on the KWS-1. I can tell you were a proud, satisfied owner, and you got things resolved, and that's good because I think with all of us, we accumulate so much junk here that, yeah, it's when we get back to something that requires a visit, it's an old friend, it's always very gratifying. Yeah, updates on Trevor's SP600. It must be fine. I haven't heard anything about that. Did have a few text messages and voice conversation yesterday. I guess he's working on, he said he has a capacitor checker kit from the Antique Wireless Association. At least that's what he said in the phone call. I wasn't aware that the AWA actually had a side gig selling bits and pieces, but he says he's working on that. He has a cabinet. He's got to lay it out and mount some switches and stuff for his cap checker, so that's good. But the biggest update is he's going bald, and I know how sensitive the male community is to hair loss, so I really haven't said anything unless he's brought it up, and then I just smile. Kind of like the same thing when it comes to politics, political discussions. You just don't go there. Politics and religion, but he sent me a picture. He had totally shaved his head, and he looks like a cue ball. He also took off the beard, and so we had a discussion of was that in correlation to the trauma of turning 30 in a couple of weeks. And I made the mistake of saying he looked like a cue ball because his opinion is he thinks he looks pretty beefcakey. But maybe a better composed picture rather than focusing on a bald head, which you know, for all us fathers out there, I certainly remember that bald head, but it was pretty much when I was changing diapers. It's quite a shock, And he may be in town here in a couple of weeks, so that's maybe possibly headed off to Plymouth to hit the Military Collectors Group for a quick day trip, but we'll see how that works out because he may opt out to hang out with his buddies, and I'm just the dad. We'll see what happens. But Chuck, thanks for running the show, and a tight community here this morning, but always a pleasure, and looking forward to continued updates on the 51 Ford Special. K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike. All right. Well, I'm glad Trevor's doing good. The last time I saw him, he was just a little fella. He was only, he was 5 years old, 6 years old. Listen, when Paula and I and him and Sharon came over, and I showed you Paula's ART-13 that she had gotten off of eBay. That's the transmitter I'm using now. Today, but it was still a good net, good overall net. Appreciate you guys being there. Let's see. Well, I don't know. I got this looking at the calendar. I don't know if Henry's next to play next week or not. It might be me. I'm not sure. You might know. Anyway, I'll talk to you later on. I'll get that resolved. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to shut her down. So this feature will be ready to and thank everybody for their participation. And have everybody back next weekend. So that'll turn the back over regularly. And you guys have a good day today, and keep up the good work, all the good stuff you guys are doing. Still good luck on your transmitter there, or your transceiver there, if you can get that ironed out completely. sounded pretty good that last time that I heard you, so we'll talk to you guys later. So with that, this is K0 BWC, Dayton, Nevada. All in clear. That's great.